Warning: this video does contain constant stuttering, so viewer discretion is advised. Also, I just want to mention that subtitles are available, so in case I misspell or mispronounce a word, make sure you have subtitles on just in case. Michael Jackson is one of, if not the most influential and talented entertainers in music history. The King of Pop was a singer, songwriter, producer, a dancer, humanitarian, filmmaker, and a father of three. With hundreds and millions of albums sold, Michael has written and recorded hundreds of songs that shaped a nation. And even though he's known for his music with 10 studio albums under his belt, Michael has a surprising amount of lost media, from canceled concerts to scrap albums. And with a superstar as big as Michael Jackson, there are bound to be some unreleased material leaked to the public. But there is some material that is either extremely rare or nowhere to be found. With that being said, let's get into it. These are Michael Jackson's lost media. The infamous TNT show episode. The TNT show was a comedy sketch show that aired on Britain's channel in 2009. The show was co-hosted by British comedians Jack Whitehall and Holly Walsh, and it featured jokes about each week's news story with comedic sketches. There is one episode in particular that was pulled from airing due to the unfortunate event that occurred at the time. On June 25th, 2009, an episode which featured a sketch about Michael Jackson was shown. The gag focused on rumors that the real Michael Jackson was not present in public appearances, and was instead hiring impersonators to fill in for him, with Whitehall interviewing a lookalike with a British accent. However, before the sketch could be broadcast on Channel 4, the show suddenly went off air with a message shown in its place that read, "Program will continue shortly," with the announcer blaming technical difficulties. But unfortunately, we all know what happened that day.
And we're just getting this in right now, and it's very, very sad news. Jim Moret, and to all of our viewers, both the Los Angeles Times and CBS News are both now reporting that Michael Jackson has died. Now, CNN has not confirmed that, but the LA Times and CBS News are reporting that Michael Jackson, 50 years old, the King of Pop, has died. A very, very sad moment.
What was Michael Jackson doing in Los Angeles before he was taken to the hospital? What new information do you have for us?
Well, we do know that he's been in Los Angeles preparing to undertake this major concert event that he was scheduled to perform in London this coming summer.
I have to stop you for a second, AJ. CNN can now confirm from the LA coroner that Michael Jackson is dead.
The following day, news broke out that a cut to an apology message was actually performed deliberately by Channel 4 before the episode was due to broadcast at around 11:15 p.m. Unconfirmed reports speculated that Jackson had passed away began circulating, with said rumors being confirmed shortly after the episode finished airing. A Channel 4 spokesperson stated that in the light of the news, the sketch, which had been recorded 2 days prior to the broadcast, would not be shown due to its clear inappropriateness. However, the removal of the sketch can be found on YouTube thanks to Jeffrey44, but the images and footage of the Michael Jackson sketch intended to air have yet to be found. The episode was available for 30 days after its initial air date on Channel 4 on-demand service 40D. This makes it possible that someone recorded the episode and possibly the unaired segment. However, it's unknown if the Michael Jackson sketch was available on 40D or was fully removed from the episode out of respect. However, it is unlikely that Channel 4 will leave the sketch in the episode, considering the circumstances that led to being removed in the first place. Michael Jackson and the will.i.am tracks. Sometime after the Invincible era, Michael Jackson was back in the studio recording tracks for the 25th anniversary edition of Thriller. During these sessions, Michael worked on several songs with will.i.am between 2006 and 2007. The songs that were mentioned include Can You, I Will Miss You, which is a tribute to James Brown, If We Still Love, I'm Dreaming, I'm Still the King, The Future, and Bile and Miserable. Now, I'm Still the King stood out to me the most because it's the only song on the list with an available leaked snippet, and the reason why I obsess over Michael Jackson's unreleased songs. This song was intended to feature artists influenced by Jackson like Usher and Neo, and I think the future was supposed to be a dance track about environmental issues similar to Earth Song.
The energy in Will's beats got Michael out of his seat.
I like that breakdown. Getting closer.
But the tracks on this list remain unreleased due to will.i.am not wanting to release these tracks without Jackson's permission. So it's unlikely we'll be hearing these songs anytime soon, which is now impossible due to Michael's death in 2009. The Cats Don't Dance scrapped version. Cats Don't Dance is an animated musical directed by Mark Dennell, as this was his directorial debut. Released in 1997, the film takes place in the late 1930s and stars Danny, voiced by Scott Bakula, a singing and dancing cat from Indiana who heads to Hollywood in search of a big break. Although the film bombed in the box office, losing $30 million, Jesus Christ, the film did gain some cult following with some decent reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. The film was originally planned for Michael Jackson to star, produce, and consult the music and choreography in the early stages of production, and would have revolved around stray cats that lived among sets and studio backlots. It would have been a hybrid live-action and CGI film similar to Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. However, this version of the film would never be published, as by 1994, Jackson had ceased to be involved in the film due to unknown reasons. Warner Bros. Sold a script that was written for the movie to Turner Feature Animation, who then rewrote the movie and changed the characters. There isn't any known recording as this was in the early stages of production, and there have been no sources that said that Michael ever recorded any music for the film, that we know of. So any mentions of recordings that exist remain either rumors or lost. The HBO special Michael Jackson One Night Only. On July 25, 1995, Michael Jackson had revealed that he would be participating in an HBO television special to be broadcast later in the year. The special, named Michael Jackson One Night Only, was to be an immediate concert event held at the historic Beacon Theater in New York City. Michael was due to play on December 8th and 9th with a live audience, and the special was scheduled to go on air as an HBO exclusive on December 10th. However, just days before it was due to broadcast, the special was canceled due to Michael collapsing and being rushed to a hospital after suffering from apparent dehydration and exhaustion on stage during rehearsals. The concert was to feature a new choreography inspired by films such as A Clockwork Orange and several Bruce Lee films. Famously, Jackson would have performed Childhood with French mime Marcel Marceau miming the lyrics as Michael sang them. Jackson adored this version of Childhood and loved getting the chance to work with Marceau. However, there is little footage of rehearsals from what could have been, such as dance choreography of Thriller and Bad, but there is existing footage of Michael and Marceau rehearsing for the Childhood act, but search for more footage is still ongoing.
Michael Jackson, One Night Only. You've never been this close. Sunday, December 10th at 8 p.m. only on HBO.
The 1982 Budweiser Superfest concert footage. This one has always fascinated me ever since I became a fan. Now, there is little information I could find about these concerts, but it was a Superfest concert that was annually held and sponsored by Budweiser. On August 1st, 1982, one of the concerts was hosted by Quincy Jones and friends, Patty Austin, James Ingram, Ashford Simpson, and Louis Johnson. They performed a variety of songs that were produced by Quincy at the time, including Love is in Control, I Know Corona, Do You Love Me, and stuff like that, in which Michael Jackson made a surprise appearance singing along the others. Now, since there's not much information on Budweiser Superfest concerts, only several photos and a full audio of the performers was ever to resurface, but footage of the concert remained lost, with only a 13-second clip of Michael Jackson performing available. Since it was broadcast live, it's likely that someone has footage of the entire concert somewhere, but only time will tell. The Who Is It original YouTube upload. This one is the reason why I wanted to make this list in the first place. Who Is It is a fifth single from Michael Jackson's 1991 8th studio album, Dangerous. However, the short film for the song wasn't available on YouTube until October 28, 2016. But in October 2009, Michael's estate would release a variety of his most iconic short films and music videos. And instead of uploading the official music video for Who Is It, they instead uploaded a compilation video of previous short films Michael made in the past. According to Mikey8317, he said he made the fan-made video and entered it to MTV for a contest held in the early 1990s. I couldn't find any information about this contest, but he said that Michael loved it and said it was so perfect that he was going to use it for a future project. And according to another user, the video was used in a documentary that was either played on VH1 or MTV. However, the compilation video has been archived due to the official music video being uploaded on YouTube. Some claim that the video is nowhere to be found, but it is available by accessing a private link, which will be linked into the description below. The alternative history tour Thriller jackets. One of Michael's most memorable performances during the history tour was Thriller, and it's to this day one of Michael Jackson's most iconic performances in history. While most know that Michael wore the light green / light yellow jacket similar to the one he wore during the Dangerous tour, Michael has worn the original red jacket while performing Thriller at one of his concerts. He wore the red jacket once throughout the history tour at Bucharest, Romania in 1986. However, there is one jacket that hardly anyone knows about, and that's because there's only one recording of Michael performing Thriller in this particular jacket. The jacket was red but with white outline, and it was worn a few times throughout while performing at Amsterdam in 1996. It's possible that there are more amateur recordings of Michael with this particular jacket, but only time will tell whether or not there are any more footage resurfaces. The Decade Greatest Hits album. Decade was a scrapped compilation album that was planned to be released in the early 90s. There's no doubt that Michael Jackson recorded a few new songs during that period with plans to include them in a new release. After Bad, Michael wanted to make a compilation album, commencing his decade-long solo career as an adult. The album was the focus between the years 1979 to 1989, and were to include his hit songs from his previous albums, along with 4 new songs which were new at the time. And they include Black or White, Heal the World, It Doesn't Really Matter, which is a demo to Who Is It, and a Beatles cover of Strawberry Fields Forever. However, the original idea was scrapped due to Michael missing several deadlines to complete the album. He instead changed the years to 1980 to 1990 and included 4 new songs, which were adult covers of I'll Be There and Never Can Say Goodbye, and 2 new songs, Man in Black and Gone Too Soon. However, that version of the song was scrapped, and so they decided to take the new songs they recorded and turn it into Dangerous. The reason why I put this topic on the list was because several of the songs that were to feature on Decade, like Strawberry Fields Forever and the adult versions, remain lost, either because the songs were scrapped or it's because Michael never recorded them in the first place. So it's unlikely we'll be getting any leaks for those songs anytime soon. But we do, however, have unused cover art and the official track listings of both versions of Decade, so that's pretty cool. Michael Jackson live at the Apollo. Michael Jackson Live at the Apollo was a concert held at the Apollo Theater in New York City on April 24, 2002. The concert was a fundraiser for the Democratic National Committee and former President Bill Clinton. The money collected would be used to encourage citizens to vote. As a result, the show raised almost $3 million. What's significant about this concert is that this is Michael Jackson's last live performance before his passing. And I know what people are going to say in the comments. What about the performance at the World Music Awards 2006? First off, Michael made an appearance in the choir. It does not count as an official performance. Anyway, Michael performed 3 songs, which were Dangerous, Black or White, in which Dave Navarro from Red Hot Chili Peppers played guitar, and Heal the World, in which Diana Ross made a surprise appearance at the end. So far, there's been only one video released from the concert, and that is the performance of Dangerous. C-SPAN, who released the footage, said that they cannot show the full concert because of copyright issues. Unfortunately, there isn't any amateur footage of Black or White or Heal the World. However, there have been amateur audio of the full concert lead, which will be linked in the description below. There's also footage of rehearsal the day prior to the performance released by Jackson's friend and choreographer Lavelle Smith Jr. Honestly, I'm shocked that there have been more pictures of the concert than videos. I mean, if you search Michael Jackson Apollo 2002, there are dozens and dozens of photos from the Apollo performance. Well, with all these photos lying around, there is a possibility that there is also footage of the performance. So let's just keep our hopes high. The Michael Jackson Scramble training footage. Originally, I wasn't going to include this on a list because while I was writing the script, the complete footage of the Scramble training video game has been found and is now available on YouTube. I even re-uploaded the video myself on my own channel. So I'll just call this a bonus entry or an honorable mention now that it's found. So in summary, in 1993, Sega developed a video game called Michael Jackson Scramble Training for their Advanced Simulator 1 hardware. The game was a giant hydraulically powered flight simulator, and Jackson is the pilot, where he instructs the viewer on the steps to receive the Space Pilot license. The simulator ride was released on Sega amusement parks in 1993. Unfortunately, later that year, Sega quietly removed Scramble Training due to the false allegations breaking out at the time. Michael Jackson was a huge video game fan and had a passion for anything cosmic. Thought to be lost even by Sega personnel themselves, the above footage was recently found on a D2 master tape sold at a car boot sale in England, and kindly digitized by the Oxford Duplication Center. The 30-minute video contains all localized footage and segments made by writer and director, and I'm gonna butcher this name, Hiroshi Omura and Kenji Sasaki, as well as film scenes by Michael. The link to the Scramble training video will be in the description below, along with other available footage I was able to find.
That was close. Is everybody all right? I'm opening the escape hatches, so please evacuate in an orderly fashion. Unfortunately, you did not qualify for the Space Pilot's license. Come back again soon for another challenge. Goodbye.
Well, folks, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed this segment. This video took the longest to do, and I was planning to say this video for when I reached 1,000 subscribers, but I got too excited and wanted to post it now. Make sure to leave a like and comment if I missed any lost media in the video. I'll probably do a separate video of the Who Is It video later in the future, so keep that in mind. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss any of my upload. And check out my Instagram page at The Artistic Horseman, where I post wonderful works of art. Until next time, thanks for watching.